So by trade, I'm a pharmacist. I've been practicing for over 10 years now in the field of pharmacy. Graduate of Auburn University here in Alabama. And after I obtained my Doctor of Pharmacy degree, I did a year of residency training in outpatient outpatient work with the county health department, where we saw patients and treated them with conditions such as diabetes and also cholesterol and hypertension. We ran, as residents, we were responsible for maintaining and running a diabetes clinic where we met with patients on average about once a month, and via telephone or in-face person-to-person interaction, where we essentially just followed their diabetes journey. Whether it was a person that was newly diagnosed or if it was a person that was maintained, controlled, or uncontrolled. And our job as residents at the time was to basically follow them and make recommendations, make adjustments, insulin titration, medication changes, et cetera, to get them on the path to a better health. And essentially, that's kind of where the passion for diabetes grew at. And it prompted me after that year of residency training to pursue a certification in becoming a diabetes specialist or diabetes educator, as it's formerly known as. In today's language, we're called diabetes care and education specialists. But it can be interchangeably used with diabetes educators. And so, it's just a group of individuals, healthcare providers, that really put an emphasis on diabetes education and really driving home the importance of knowing what to do with your condition, not be defeated by it, and basically give them the tools they need to maintain and, own their condition and not look at it as a sentence, but look at it as a journey to how I can, continuously, battle this thing. And so that's where the passion grew in at. I work currently at the University of Alabama at Birmingham Hospital, formerly known as UAB, in a dispensary role where we dispense medications and everything like that, and also do diabetes education on the side. And so that's my career in a nutshell so far. I've seen pretty much several different aspects of pharmacy, but at the end of the day, diabetes care and education has kind of been one of the driving forces behind my career, and just sort of excited to kind of do my part as a healthcare provider.
Is it appropriate to say Roll Tide?
In this case, it is. I will say that I have classmates that I graduated with from Auburn University that will, not be so warm to that Roll Tide. They would say War Eagle for the Auburn thing, and but for me, I was actually born and raised an Alabama fan, and so I'll give you a Roll Tide back. How about that?
All right. Okay. That's something I learned from somebody I follow on YouTube. He's a super supporter.
Oh, really? Is that right? That's amazing.
So not only are we educating the public about their body, but we're also here to show different examples of career options in healthcare. So this is your chance to really brag about yourself. So don't be shy. If there's anything you haven't mentioned about your career or your decisions into going into pharmacy that you'd like to share with the audience and aspiring healthcare professionals, this is your chance.
I have the floor to pep up pharmacy.
Yeah.
For sure. 100%. It's, pharmacy to me is, first of all, I'm extremely proud of my profession, and I have strong colleagues that are just as strong as and just as supportive about the profession as I am. I will say that one of the reasons I was drawn to pharmacy is the amount of information that we have at our disposal, whether it be information that was acquired through, the 4-year program, or whether it's the continuing education to learn more about medications and how they interact with the body, and essentially our piece to the puzzle. The way I look at the different healthcare providers in this game that we're playing is each entity is a piece to the puzzle, and the most important part of the puzzle is the patient. And as long as each of us as healthcare providers go in with that mindset of we're here for the patient, it's not, okay, this particular aspect is the most important or this is the least important, but we're all essentially a part of this puzzle. And without one piece, you don't have that same puzzle. It's a totally different puzzle. And so with the pharmacy portion of it, it's everything medication related. Like, how do these medications work? Like, how can we put you on the best regimen? How can we take you off of some of these medications? These different type of conversations that could inspire a person that's looking into the field of pharmacy should want to look at. And it's more than just what you probably see on TV, like the retail sector, which I'm proud of. Like, I've been in retail for a while as well, but so many different avenues that one can explore, whether it be retail or hospital or nuclear pharmacy. There's so many different opportunities that are potentially untapped, and that it essentially boils down to what is it that you want to get after? Like, what is it that you want to do? And within the sector of pharmacy. And so I'm always extremely proud of my profession. I think that we have done a tremendous job of making ourselves known within the healthcare community. And I think that we have some strong leadership in place currently. And I think that as we continue to grow, just as with other healthcare providers, we can really continue to put this thing, which is the patient, at the forefront of everything that we do. And as long as a person is of that mindset, like, I'm willing to work with you. Like, at the hospital, it's all about collaborative practice. Like, how can we work together? Multidisciplinary approach. Like, how can we all work together? And as long as we all have that mindset, we can do anything. And so I'm just going to give my spiel from the medication standpoint. And if that's something that a person is interested in, I would say look into pharmacy. Like, you'd be so surprised at the amount of recognition that you're going to get from friends and colleagues. Oh, I got a friend that's a pharmacist. Let me call them and find out what's going on. And just to be able to be that resource and to be able to contribute. That's one thing that I'm proud of, and be able to represent as much as possible.
Yeah, no, we couldn't do our job without pharmacy. It's one of the hardest courses in every program, and it's always changing. And it has a lot to do with patients' success on whether they're going to manage their condition at home or not. Largely compliance and understanding what that medication does and why they need to take it. In the hospital setting in particular, we would not run without pharmacy, right? You're there at the very beginning when they're in the ED going through those home lists. The nurse is going to confirm them when they get upstairs. Every time a medication is not available, or there's a question about how to give it, we call pharmacy. When it's time for discharge, pharmacy is back again to go over the medications to provide them. So huge role. And I don't think you guys get enough attention when people are promoting jobs in healthcare. I don't think pharmacy gets enough attention considering the role they play.
Yeah, I think attention is warranted at times. But for me, like, I feel like, yes, it would be nice to be recognized. But I think most importantly, though, as long as that patient gets taken care of, Dr. Madison, I feel like we've done our job. And, there are individuals in the healthcare field that are going to bat every single day. Like, my mom's a nurse practitioner, and I know the amount of work that she's put in, and you certainly have to pay homage to that. And it's just a testament to everyone doing their part. But so for me, I try not to become too attached to we need to get recognized. That's fine, and that's totally fine, and there's a space for that. But at the end of the day, as long as we're doing our part by the patient, that's where the work comes in at. Like, the work comes in when we get a phone call like 2 weeks later, from a patient that had a satisfactory stay in the hospital, that said, well, the pharmacist that came by, and just speaking praises of us. That's when we've done our job. That's when we've done our job at a high level, and because we keep them at the forefront. And I think that for the most part, when you're in a very productive situation, everyone is adoptive of that same mindset of keeping the patient at the forefront. I'm always gonna kind of drill that point home, keeping the patient at the front of everything that we do. So recognition or no recognition, I'm extremely proud of the work that we do as pharmacists and the contribution we put on the team. And we make each other better too. I learned a lot from nursing physicians, everyone. And I can only hope that we do the same, providing you guys with the information that you need, because you guys are representing a different piece of the puzzle as well. And so it's about contributing and making sure that you guys have the tools that you need from our end to make sure that you do your job effectively. Because if you don't do it, then that puzzle is going to be a little bit weird, So go.
Thank you. Yes, your passion for your field is quite evident. In recognition, I mean, in terms of promoting like options in healthcare, because people already know, be a nurse, be a doctor, and it kind of ends. And we all know once working in healthcare, there's thousands of jobs in healthcare.
Facts.
Thousands.